Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we will be doing lesson number 16 of the Arabic alphabet course. So, without any further ado, let's begin. So, the next letters of the Arabic alphabets are Fa, this is Fa, Qaaf, Qaaf and Kaaf. Qaaf, Kaaf, there's a difference. These letters don't really look the same. As you can see, each of them are different. Only two of them sound the same. This is why I repeated Qaaf and Kaaf. These two may sound same, but they are different. We'll see the difference later. But they are typically grouped together anyways. These three letters are grouped together anyways. Fa is equivalent of the English letter F. So this means that from the same place of the mouth, the F comes out the same place as Fa. Okay? Qaaf is represented by the letter of Q. It's represented by Q doesn't mean it's exactly like Q, because as you can see, Qaaf and Q are different. It sounds like K, the sound of K, but it's a lot more deeper. As you can see, K and Qaaf. K and Qaaf, there's a difference. Qaaf is deeper than K. Kaaf is just like K. Kaaf is like the English letter K. It has the same sound, the same place. Or the C sound, like in the words cat or car, just like how the C sounds, that's the equivalent of Kaaf. Okay, so Qaaf is a little bit more deeper. The difference between Qaaf and Kaaf is that Qaaf is deeper than Kaaf. Kaaf has the same sound as K, but Qaaf is not the same sound as K. It is represented by Q, but it has much deeper sound than Q. Got it? So now we'll be looking at the pronunciation of Fa, Qaaf and Kaaf. Fa sounds exactly like F. As we said in the previous slide, Fa sounds exactly like F. The same place as F, the same place as Fa. The F and Fa sound have no different places. But the sound of Qaaf is a little bit more complicated. We told that the sound of Qaaf is like the sound of K. K and Qaaf are a little bit close to each other, but it's not exactly K. Okay? So in order to make the sound of Qaaf, you need to first make the sound of K to see exactly where see the part of the tongue which touches the roof of the mouth. So first make the sound of K and then notice it, because usually we do it in English, we don't notice such things. But now we actually have to observe where it is. So first you make the sound of K and then you notice the part of the tongue which hits the roof. Once you notice that, you will not touch this part. For Qaaf, for K the sound is perfect, okay? The part where you touch is perfect. But for Qaaf, we cannot use this part. For Qaaf, we'll use the part little bit behind it. It won't be the same place as K. It will go behind it because it has to produce a different sound. It produces more deeper sound, right? So this will go behind it. The back of the tongue, the back of the tongue should be hitting the opening of your throat. This is important. The opening of the throat is where the deeper sound of Qaaf comes in. Can you hear the sound of Qaaf? It comes from the deeper. It's not coming from the mouth. It's coming from the throat. So the back of the tongue should be hitting the opening of the throat. So that's why we need to make it Qaaf. It's not K, it's Qaaf. Can you see the difference? Next term, Kaaf. Kaaf is exactly like K. There is no difference. The same part of your tongue hits the same area of the roof of the mouth when you pronounce K. K and Kaaf, not Qaaf. K and Kaaf are exactly the same, but Qaaf is different. With a little more practice, you'll be able to differentiate between Qaaf and Kaaf. Now let us look at the four forms of Fa and Qaaf. As we previously know, the four forms of a letter depends on where it is found, whether it's by itself, at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end of the word. So by itself we can see that Fa and Qaaf look like this, and there is the beginning column, the middle column, and there is the end column. So Fa and Qaaf look same in two of the four cases, the small loop. This means that this and this, there's no difference if you ignore the dots, okay? The dots are the only difference between the middle and the beginning. But remember, sometimes you differentiate letters by the body, i.e. the small loop, which is same here, and sometimes you differentiate it by the number and the position of the dots. That's why in Arabic language, dots are very important. Without dots, there's literally no difference between Fa and Qaaf. We saw the same case in like Ta and Sa. Remember Ta and Sa, the 2 and 3 dots? There the number of dots matter. And so over here, there is Fa and Qaaf. the Fa has one dot and the Qaf has two dots. So the only differentiation that we can see is the dots here. That's why pay attention to the position and the number of dots. It's extremely important in the Arabic language. So Fa has one dot and Qaf has two dots. Plus, when the letter is by itself or at the end, Fa curve, the curve of Fa, this curve that I'm talking about. This curve is long, it's not deep. But when it comes to Qaf, it's round or it's deep, it goes in, right? So that's the difference between Fa and Qaf in each of the letters. Now for examples, we can see for Fa, the very first example will be Falaha. Falaha is he farmed. You don't have to learn the meanings, but just for example. So over here, you can see that this is Fa. This over here is Fa. Falaha, Fa, this is the one. Now if I want to put this in the middle, I'll have to get Yaflahu. This is Yaflahu. Ya, Fa, Lam, and Ha. Now there's no dots, so we need to put the dots. That's Ya, Fa, and this is Ya. So as you can see, the first one is Ya, which you haven't learned yet, and then there is Fa. This is Fa. This is how it looks. Can you see? Fa yaflahu. And now in the end, at the end, it looks like this. Halaf. You know what halaf means? It means swearing. And yeah, we only swear by Allah. But anyway, that's beside the point. Here is halaf. As you can see, at the end, the Fa looks like this. So this is the beginning Fa, the middle Fa, and the end Fa example. Now for Qaf, we can take Quran. The first one will be Quran. Wait, let me change the font. I mean the color. So the first one is Quran. So yeah, this is more visible, right? So Quran. Now see, can you see any difference in Fa and Qaf right now? No. But when you put the dots, we clearly see that Fa has one dot and Qaf has two dots on top of it. So this is Quran. It's Qaf, Ra, Alif, and Noon. Quran. I'm sure I don't need to tell you what Quran means, right? Then Yaqra'u. For the middle, we'll take Yaqra'u. Ya, Qaf. Wait. Yes. Ya, Qaf, Ra, and Alif. Now with the dots, they'll become much clearer. Really, the only difference between Fa and Qaf is the dots. It's very, very, very important. Or else we can read this sentence entirely different. Now anyway, this is for the middle. See, Qaf at the beginning, it's like this. At the middle, it's like this. And at the end, it is Khalqun, which means creation. Khalqun. Remember, Allah's name is Al-Khaliq. It means the creator. And even akhlaq comes from this word, but you'll learn that higher grades. You'll learn that in higher classes. So this is Khalqun. Kha, Lam, and Qaf. So these are the examples for Fa and Qaf in different places of the word. Of course, by itself, you can see that it's completely different. I mean, you don't even need a differentiation by itself. That's how the letter looks. That's just like A or B by itself. Now in the next slide, we will actually learn about the Kaaf, because if you notice, I put Fa and Qaf, but where's the Kaaf that we are going to learn today? It's going to be in the next slide. Okay, now the four forms of Kaaf. Kaaf is like the backwards L. If you can see, L is this side and Kaaf is towards the left side. And Kaaf has a special squiggle on top. Squiggle, or you can tell it as an S. It's like an S, right? This one has a small S on top instead of a dot. It doesn't have a dot. Kaaf does not have a dot, but what it does have is a small S on top. This squiggle, it goes away when it's in the middle or beginning of the sequence. If you see here, this Kaaf is exactly different from this Kaaf, and it's completely different from here and here. So only the first and the not the first means the by itself, but the by itself version of Kaaf is only similar to the end letter when Kaaf is at the end of the word, but when it's in the middle and the beginning, it's completely different. This is the beginning and this is the middle. It's completely different here, right? And we also notice that this beginning is somehow same to this middle. So in Kaaf, what we observe is the by itself version is not seen anywhere except in the end of the letter, end of the word. And the middle and the beginning version is completely different from the by itself version. But the beginning and the middle one is similar to each other. Not exactly same, but similar. When Kaaf is at the middle or the beginning, the body kind of changes. As we can see, it's clearly changing here. It looks like a giant less than sign. Mathematics. We need mathematics people here. Giant less than sign. Can you see this? It's exactly like this. It can be pointy also, but it's most probably like an S, the bottom part of an S. This is, of course, I can't explain this to you. Now, anyway, the examples will be kafara. Yeah, kuffar comes from this word, disbelief. And yakfuru. This is how it looks in the middle. Yakfuru. So that's where we saw in the beginning kafara, ka, fa, and ra. Now this is in the middle. Yakfuru. Yakfuru. Put the dots in and you're done. So this is the beginning and this is the middle. Now at the end, it's halka. In Urdu, halka means light, but in Arabic it's different meaning. So this is halka, that's actually lam. Let me write that properly. Yep, now it's perfect, isn't it? So as you can see, this is how the Kaaf looks at the end of the word. At the end and the ba itself is more clear, right? The ba itself and the end is same, but the beginning and the middle version is completely different. So now that we have learned about Faa, Qaaf and Kaaf, let's apply this in the Arabic language. I'm going to be doing this twice. The first time you're going to listen and then you're going to pause the video and try to do it on your own. And after that you can come back to me. So let's get started. Kaaf fatha ka, fa alif, fa, kafa, lam fatha la, kafa la, ta fatha ta, ضاد را سكون. It's a shadda, I know, but right now it's سكون, okay? ضاد را سكون فتحة ضر. تا ضر. را, since it's a shadda, را ضمة رو. تا ضر رو. And then عين سكون. So it's را ضمة عين سكون. رع. تضرع. تضرع. فا ضمة را سكون. فر. قاف ألف. قا. فرقا. نون فتحة نا. فرقانا. عين فتحة قاف سكون. عق. عين فتحة ع. عق ع. قاف كسرة قي. عق عقي. عق عقي. ح فتحة ح. با فتحة با. حابا. طا كسرة قاف سكون. طق. حابا طق. طا كسرة قاف سكون. طق. حابا حابا. طق طق. حابا طق طق. كاف ألف كا. كاف ألف فا. كاف. كاف ألف فا فتحة كافة. همزة كسرة شين. همزة كسرة شين سكون. إش. تا فتحة تا. إش تا. با فتحة با. إش تابا. كاف فتحة كا. إش تابكا. طا ضمة فا سكون. طف. راس ضمة طفرو. سين ضمة سو. را ألف صورا. دال كسرة صورا دي. قاف ضمة قو. صورا دي قو. فا كسرة را سكون فر. قاف فتحة قا فرقة. تا ضمة تو فرقة. But there's a calf with a سكون here, so it's تا ضمة كاف سكون تك فرقتك فرقتك. Another time. كاف فتحة ك فا ألف فاء كفا. لام فتحة لا كفا لا. تا فتحة تا ضاد ضاد فتحة را سكون ضر تضر. را الشدة را ضمة عين سكون تضرع. فا ضمة را سكون فر. قاف ألف قا فرقا. نون فتحة نا فرقانا. عين فتحة قاف سكون عق عين فتحة عقع. قاف كسرة عقعقي. حا فتحة با فتحة حابة. طا كسرة قاف سكون طق حابة طق. طا كسرة قاف سكون طق حابة طق طق حابة طق طق. كاف فتحة كا fa it has a shadda, so kaaf. Then fa with a fatha kafa. Hamza kasra sheen sukun ish. Ta fatha ta ishta. Ba fatha ba ishtaba. Kaf fatha ka ishtabaka. Ta dhamma fa sukun tuf. Ra dhamma tufru. سين ضمة سو. را ألف را سورا. دال كسرة دي سورا دي. قاف ضمة قو سورا بقو. فا كسرة را سكون فر. قاف فتحة قا فرقة. تا ضمة كاف سكون تق فرقتك. So with this we complete our entire lesson for today. I know these words were a little bit hard. These words were hard for me too, and it's completely fine, but with a little bit of practice you will be able to identify and pronounce these letters correctly, because in Arabic two things are important: identification and pronunciation. So just keep practicing this. Inshallah, with the help of Allah, you'll be able to practice. You'll be able to do this properly. So let's see you in the next video. Till then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.